Organizations create detailed systems to track problems, yet many of those documented issues are never resolved. This pattern is not a sign of a broken process, but of a system designed for a different purpose: managing risk. By logging a problem, the organization contains it, protecting stability even if the issue itself persists.
The process begins when an employee, a customer, or a monitoring system identifies a problem. This could be a flaw in a product, an inefficiency in a process, or a gap in service. Following procedure, this issue is documented. It is entered into a tracking system, given a unique identifier, and described in detail, which captures information for later investigation. The issue is then triaged. It is categorized, evaluated for its impact and urgency, and assigned a priority level. This step is meant to create an orderly queue for resolution. For many issues, this is the final step in the process. After being formally acknowledged and prioritized, the problem frequently remains in the system without any further action. The ticket stays open, the underlying problem persists, and the intended resolution does not occur. This leads to a central question. If the process is so structured, why does it so often fail to produce a solution? The reasons are not typically found in the tracking system itself, but in the organizational dynamics that surround it. The first barrier to solving a problem is often cultural. Before any technical or resource constraints are considered, the organization's social environment can prevent action. In some organizations, a blame culture takes hold. In such an environment, the primary goal of individuals is not to solve the problem, but to avoid being associated with its cause. The focus shifts from fixing the issue to deflecting responsibility. In this environment, inquiries about a problem become framed around personal fault. The question quickly changes from what part of the process failed to whose fault is it? This shows the key contrast. An organizational logic seeks to understand systemic causes to prevent future failures. An individual blame logic, however, seeks a person to hold accountable, which discourages the open investigation needed to find a real solution. Actively pursuing a solution might uncover a mistake made by an individual or a team. To avoid this personal or professional risk, it can appear safer for those involved to let the problem remain unaddressed. Beyond individual behaviors, the organization as a whole can generate resistance. This creates a second filter that prevents change. This resistance is known as organizational inertia. It is a force present in established organizations that makes changing direction, processes, or structures difficult, even when there is a clear need to do so. Organizations develop routines, processes, and mental models based on what has worked in the past. These successful methods become deeply embedded in the company's culture and operations. Over time, these established ways of working become rigid. The political structures, resource allocations, and even the identity of the organization are built around them, creating a powerful momentum that resists deviation. This can lead to what is known as a success trap. The organization becomes so skilled at exploiting its known successful methods that it fails to explore new approaches. It continues to invest in what is familiar, even as the environment changes and new problems emerge that the old routines cannot solve. The third and final filter is the nature of the problem itself. Sometimes a problem persists not because of culture or inertia, but because it is inherently resistant to a clear solution. This raises an important consideration. What happens when an organization encounters a problem that cannot be fixed with a straightforward linear approach? This type of challenge is known as a wicked problem. The term does not imply evil, but rather a deep, tangled complexity. The requirements for solving it are often unclear, in conflict with one another, and constantly evolving. Wicked problems have several key characteristics. First, the problem itself is difficult to define, as different stakeholders will see it differently. Second, there is no single correct answer, only solutions that are better or worse. Finally, attempting to solve one aspect of the problem can often create new, unintended problems elsewhere. When faced with a wicked problem, attempting a definitive solution is extremely risky. The outcome is uncertain, and failure can have significant consequences. In this context, the safest and most rational organizational response is often to simply log the issue, to acknowledge it without committing to a solution that might make things worse. Considering these three filters, the culture, the inertia, and the nature of the problem, we can arrive at a new perspective. The system of logging issues without fixing them may not be broken. Its purpose might not be what it appears to be.
While it presents itself as a problem-solving mechanism, its primary objective may be something else entirely. The system's actual function is often to maintain organizational stability. By formally acknowledging problems, it gives the appearance of control. But by filtering out issues that are culturally risky, disruptive to routines, or inherently wicked, it protects the organization from the chaos that deep change can bring. The system is designed to absorb uncertainty and manage institutional risk, often by noting complex problems rather than attempting to solve them.